Hey, shalom, shalom. A couple of years ago, I was living in San Antonio, Texas, because my son was in long-term inpatient hospital care down there. I made a video as a short teaching for a select few men in response to a prayer request from a very, very special friend and brother of mine who shepherds that flock of men. I ran across it this morning and I realized it definitely has value for Pursue the Old Paths and the Watchman. So I'm going to share it with you today. I hope it really gives your life some enrichment. And if it does, maybe give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with some other folks. Always forward.
Shalom, shalom, Mishpacha. I wanted to share something with you which has been on my heart as of late. It stems from a prayer request I received from my very dear brother, Shliach Ray. And I believe it's the very basis of the idea behind the Impact Community Center. And in my opinion, it's an obligation for all of us believers of the Most High and followers of Yeshua the Messiah. And that is that we need to build and sustain the community of believers. There's quite a bit we could talk about in this concept, but I want to focus on one or two easy to follow ideas. In Devarim 15 Pasuk Arba, that is Deuteronomy chapter 15 verse 4, the first part of that verse reads, Efet kilo yihye becha evyon, and that is, in spite of this, there will be no one needy among you. Or in some Jewish translations, it might say, there shall be no paupers among you, or there shall be no poor among you. Now, our sages teach that there's an expectation with that verse that says each man must expend effort to ensure that he isn't poor, or that he should work to ensure that he can support himself and his family. And that's not to say you become selfish or self-absorbed. Quite the contrary, actually. To go along with the idea, there's a Yiddish word called fargin. Now, fargin, there's no English translation to that word because it's basically a concept, and it's been a Jewish concept for a long time. And it means having peace of mind without jealousy of the good fortune of others. So fargin starts by recognizing your God-given plans, that you have hopes, you have dreams, you have goals, and that you try to mold those goals to enrich the kingdom of Elohim. And in so doing, you also have to realize all of your brothers have hopes and dreams and goals that they're trying to mold to enrich the kingdom of Elohim, right? So you want to begin to fargin. I would like you to try to begin to fargin by being genuinely happy when good things happen to other people. So how many times in your life can you look and it may be something like your neighbor just got a new car and you're thinking to yourself, man, why can't I get a new car? You know, it's not about that. I may be guilty of some of that too in my past. Then, of course, you have to remember Devarim 5 Pasuk Aslim V'Echad, Deuteronomy 5:21, I think, says, do not covet anything that belongs to your neighbor. Well, anyway, we begin by realizing you're not in competition with anyone because the Father is going to pour down blessings upon you just like everyone else. So you need to begin to rejoice at the success of others. And once you do that, something almost miraculous happens and your successes begin to manifest. You reap what you sow, right? On that note, in order to build up the community of believers, fargin has another concept buried within it, and that is whenever someone in your community of believers starts a business, we rally around that person and their business to try to help make it a success. Even if you can find that product or service somewhere else for less expensive, or they can do it a little bit faster, we always do business with our believers first. And I don't care what kind of business it is. If you start a bakery, you stop buying bread at the grocery store and you buy your bread from our brother's bakery. Even if it's a little more expensive, even if it's out of the way, now you got to go to 2 stores, We do whatever we can to support the believer in our community. We rally around them until that business is a success, and we rejoice with them when it becomes a success. If someone in your community starts an insurance agency, you do whatever you can to take your business away from Geico or wherever you have your insurance, and you go with your brother's insurance agency, and you rejoice when it becomes a success. Then, once your successes start to manifest, you must be grateful beyond measure for your own success, regardless of how small those successes seem. Be grateful. So, finally, when your success does start to come, and it will start to come, you want to be able to give back to the community based on the business that you started or the work that you do. So if you're the guy that opened the bakery, bake bread and give some to someone who can't afford it at the moment. Or say your business is auto mechanics, fix someone's car who can't afford to pay at the moment, and rejoice that you were able to help them. You don't brag about it. You don't tell everyone about it. You just do it, and then you rejoice. I think you're starting to see my point here. We need to support each other and genuinely rejoice when others come to their successes. And when you do that, I am telling you, your successes will start to manifest, no matter what they are. It will happen. It's a simple concept of you reap what you sow. I think you see my point. Hope everyone has a great day. Shalom uvracha, mighty men of Elohim.